Hi, this is Joe Walensky, and I just wanted to talk about some of the things that I've been thinking about related to modern apps for Windows 8 and the type of help that organizations are starting to put together for that. I haven't been able to work with any Windows 8 modern app projects yet, but it's something that I want to learn more about, and so I'm just going to show you some of the things that I've been finding and give you my thoughts on that. And I did have problems being able to record effectively on my machine that has Windows 8 running on it. So I'm going to go from some screenshots for that. So I'm going to switch over to that now. And this is the start screen, which is the first screen that you see in Windows 8 in that part of the operating system environment. Of course, the other part is the traditional desktop environment. And I have the tiles there for the apps that I'm going to talk about. And of course, the apps that are designed for this part of Windows 8 are set up in a completely different development environment, which has a similar code base, but they're running in a completely separate part of the operating system from the desktop apps. Now, for most organizations, when they bring up the help, it's through one of the settings charms. For example, here you see a screen capture that shows the settings charm highlighted in the bottom right, and that's activated by moving the mouse toward the bottom right border with your mouse, or from the outside in with your with a swipe. Now, the first app I want to talk about is eBay, and with eBay, if you go to the charms and select settings, the panel appears that you see here on the right. And that settings panel is a standard panel. It's standard one of the charms. And so when that panel comes up, the items that are populated there are whatever the developer wants. So settings is standard, but then from eBay on down through the borderline is all determined by eBay as to what they want to put in this space. The icons below that, again, are standard items in settings. Now, eBay chose to use the term support. If you click on support, that brings you to another panel, which has a search option and also a link to contact support, contact customer support. If I click on that, now I'm going to get a snap window opening up 2/3 of the width. The rest of the modern app is over to the left, pushed into that 1/3 column. And what you see here in the 2/3 snap view is eBay customer support, which is a link directly to their website. So this is a web view that's pulling in exactly what you would see if you went to the same URL through your standard desktop browser. And it just drops you out at a search screen with some popular questions. So it's not context sensitive, and it's also not formatted to fit the Windows 8 experience. So it definitely looks like something that doesn't really belong with the rest of this app. And that's a choice by eBay. They certainly could have made a version of this that was closer to the look and feel of Windows 8 and have that as a separate portal into their web-based help system. Another example is Evernote. And so also with Evernote, you go to the charms, select settings. Here you see the Evernote settings. Again, that's populated with their options. They chose to use customer service. If I click on customer service, I get to a tab that has a link called Guide to Evernote. If I click on that, that again does a snap view, taking up 2/3 of the screen. Again, this is pointing to a page on their Evernote website. So again, it's a web view. In this case, though, they did do some smarter presentation. So you can see it says getting started with Evernote for Windows 8 Touch. So they're apparently using Media Query in some form to be able to identify the device type that's requesting the information and then putting in the appropriate getting started page. And they do have getting started pages for different device types. So they've gone a little bit toward better information than what eBay provided. Expedia also uses the settings. Going to the charm, their choice name is technical support. If I click on technical support, that skips that intermediate screen. So in both Evernote and in eBay, they had an intermediate screen to provide more than one link. I think that is probably a waste of space and clicks. So here Expedia skips that, takes you straight to the Snap View window to one of their web pages. So that part is good, that it's just one click from settings. Of course, when you get there, it's not very useful information. It just brings you to their Expedia support and feedback form. But again, that could be a very good portal if they chose to make it that way. Looking at getting away from that format, looking at what Photo Editor does, this is just a simple example of how they're actually putting help information directly into the user interface. And of course, that means you have to have the screen real estate to be able to do that. But certainly that's an option. In this case, you'd be working with the developer to put that information directly into the UI. This product goes a little bit of a different approach, where they have a settings option, but it's their own custom settings option, so they're not even going through the charms. If I click on settings, that does bring up a help panel. In this case, it's just a change log, so it's obviously this was put together by somebody with a very much developer perspective, not really user friendly. However, it does show that there's no problem with, or no barrier to, putting together your own custom item in the UI. In this case, it was settings, but it could be help as the label directly in the UI and bring up directly a panel that has help information in it. This is a Microsoft app that's built into Windows 8 called Maps. For this one, you go to settings, and here you can see Windows choice, or Microsoft's choice for the keyword is help. If I go to help, that brings up a link to some information on Microsoft's website about Maps. In this case, they chose to use a smaller Snap View window. There are more size range options for Windows 8.1, the release that is coming out in for consumer release in middle of October. So that's one of the changes that is included there. So I could have that original small pane extend out to 2/3 or something in the middle, like what you see here. In this app, which is called Note Anywhere, they take the approach of asking you if you want to watch a video as soon as you open the application for the first time. So this is a completely different approach. It's a lot more active. And so here you see, would you like to watch the introduction video? And this message bar comes up the first time you work with the app, and only that one time. If I select yes, it brings me into a screen which is their own custom learning panel. And so they've done a lot of effort to specifically do this, and so you can get YouTube videos on different topics. And so these videos have been posted to YouTube, and then they're just being embedded here as you would embed a video in any web page. Now in the Note Anywhere user interface, they've also done a custom way to get help or bring up a help panel, and that is from an information icon in the top right of the UI. So they're not going to the charms at all for this. When I click on that, it brings up the menu that you see here, of which one of the items is instructional videos that takes you to the screen that we'd already looked at. And then technical support, which is the last item with the question mark icon next to it, brings you to a snap view of their website. And so here's their help portal. There's another app that's built in by Microsoft called People, and you can see again their term on the settings is help. And there's kind of an odd behavior here where so here you click on help, and that brings up a set of how do I links to additional information. So here they chose to have an advanced organizer or one level table of contents to bring you to additional information. And if you click on those items such as how do I add remove contacts, it goes to a full screen Internet Explorer presentation of frequently asked questions for that app. So and then that just presents the similar items, but not exactly the same wording for the items that you saw on the intermediate panel. So I think overall it's just poorly designed here. But I think it is useful to see that if you clicked on help, that you could use this intermediate panel to have some helpful navigation elements. In this case, I don't think they're very helpful, but potentially you could do that and then go to the actual website. And I think the fact that they went to a full screen Internet Explorer as opposed to using the snap view is a mistake as well. In this example for presentation next, again, they're building in information directly into the user interface, but in this case, doing a lot more information where there's a full-blown tutorial that's available that you can skip through, but it has a lot of text information as well as screen captures. So they've used the entire screen real estate to do this walkthrough. And here's another screen in that walkthrough. In this tool, which is which tool am I looking at right now? I am looking at, I'm going to have to go back. Sorry about that. Which tool was that I was looking at? Well, I can't remember which tool that is. But point is, if you are in this tool and you're working with their custom toolbar, that as you do that, pop-ups will appear to help you know how to work with that particular tool, which you can see in the this orange area here. So that is a pop-up that appears that gives you information on working with that particular tool, which in this case is the multi-line text creation tool. So there'll be different pop-ups for different tools, and it'll appear in different places depending on where the focus was when you started using that tool. And that behavior is built into the Windows 8 API, but not necessarily as something used for help, but I think it could be a good use for that. And by the way, going back to note anytime the message bar at the start, that's a built-in behavior as well that you can take advantage of. So that's a standard message bar. Then this one, TouchMall, you go to Charm settings and then the help icon, or the help choice, and that does when you choose that is bring up a snap view that is a little bit different than what we saw before. So here it's going to 2/3 width, but it's not showing an external web view in the way that we had in the other examples. Here they're embedding an image specifically to show how to do different swipes with the app. Now it's kind of interesting in a couple ways. One, that they chose to do their help in this way, which is certainly something you could do. And then there's the more help option there, where you could have a panel of help and then go to something on your website as well. But also that they felt that they had to have information about the touch language that's part of Windows 8. And that's kind of a separate issue, but it's a big issue, which is if you don't think that people know how to do the interactions with Windows 8 with your software, then maybe you have to be able to provide information about that. And so some of these are general behaviors, but the one up in the top right is one that deals specifically with this app. And so in order to know how to expand the toolbar, you'd probably have to see something like this literal presentation. And then if you go to get more help, you get a 2/3 snap view with a link to the technical part of their website, technical support part of their website. And then finally, the last item, if you are on the start screen and you go to select help from the settings charm, or I'm sorry, if you're at the start screen, this is the master help page. So it's a frequently asked questions page. It goes full screen and it uses expanding, collapsing question and answer procedures to provide some of the basic information about the interface. And so here Microsoft chose to use a different behavior, which is to just go full screen with this. And whether or not that's the appropriate way to do it, I'm not sure, but I just thought it was interesting that they chose to go that way, whereas with most of the other apps, the best practices seems to be going through the settings charm. And when you do get here, whether or not this FAQ is necessarily the best way to present the most important information is arguable as well. All right, well, that brings me to the end of what I wanted to present here. I just wanted to do a short presentation of this. I know a lot of people haven't even started looking at this as a place that they're going to be developing help yet, but that's probably going to happen for many of us as time moves forward. So hopefully this will give you a little bit of preparation for that. So thanks a lot.